Virgo, I'm going to say something right at the start of this reading that I need you to actually hear, not process quickly and move past. Actually hear. Let it land in the specific place inside you where the things that are true land differently from the things that are simply said. Someone has made a final decision about you, not a tentative one, not a we'll see, let's take it one day at a time, I'm not ready to put a label on it kind of decision. A final one. The kind that happens at the end of a long internal process when every question has been asked and answered, and the conclusion is so clear that continuing to delay acting on it becomes its own kind of dishonesty. The kind that doesn't get unmade, the kind that changes what comes next. And the decision is you, not almost you, not you with conditions attached, not you if certain things change or align or prove themselves over time. You as you are, you as you have been throughout everything this connection has moved through, you with your full history and your full complexity and the full weight of whatever has existed between you, all of it considered, all of it accounted for, all of it included in the conclusion. The conclusion is still you. I want you to feel what that means for a moment before we go anywhere else. Because there is a part of you, the part that has been careful, that has been measured, that has learned to hold hope at a slight distance because hope held too closely has hurt before, that is going to want to qualify this, to find the asterisk, to protect itself by deciding that what I'm describing can't quite be as complete as it sounds. I'm asking you to set that part down for this reading, not forever, just for right now. Because what Spirit is showing me about your situation today does not have an asterisk. It is as complete as it sounds. And the only thing that could prevent you from fully receiving it is the habit of protecting yourself from the very thing you've been asking for. Before we go deeper, if something shifted in your body when I said final decision, if something that has been braced released slightly, if some part of you that has been holding its breath exhaled just a little, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and drop the words "make it official" in the comments right now, because that is exactly what is moving toward you. And your comment is you telling the universe you are ready to receive it. Let's go into the reading. The first thing I'm seeing, the love itself. The first thing that came through when I connected to your energy today was not information, it was a feeling. And I want to describe it precisely because it is unlike what I usually feel when I sit with someone's energy and there are feelings present in the field around them. Usually, feelings in someone's field feel like weather. They have temperature and movement and direction, but they exist in the space around the person rather than being directed specifically at them. This was different. What I felt the moment I tuned in was the specific quality of feeling that is aimed, pointed, intentional in the way that only genuine, deep, this person specifically love is intentional. Someone is in love with you. And I want to be careful with that word because it is used so loosely, and what I'm feeling is anything but loose. This is not infatuation, not the early, dizzy, everything about them is fascinating stage that has energy but not roots. This is the kind of love that has been through something, that has been tested by time and distance and uncertainty and the specific friction that exists in every real connection, and has not only survived those things but deepened because of them. This is love that knows you, not the curated version of you, not the version you present when you're being careful. The fuller, more complicated, more genuinely human version that includes the parts you're less certain about, the moments you're less proud of, the ways you're still figuring things out. That version. Known and loved not despite its fullness, but because of it. And what I keep feeling underneath the love, the layer beneath the feeling itself, is something I want to name because it matters. It is a quality of certainty that I don't often encounter, a specific absence of doubt that feels earned rather than assumed. This person has been through their uncertainty about this, has asked themselves the questions, has sat with the hard, honest versions of those questions rather than the comfortable, easy ones, and has arrived at a place of knowing that has the particular solidity of something reached through genuine process rather than simply felt in a moment. They know what they feel, they know what they want, they know what making it official with you means practically in the daily texture of actual life, and they want that. All of it, without reservation. The second thing I'm seeing, what making it official means to them. I want to go into what this person means when I say they want to make it official, because official can mean different things. And Spirit is being specific with me about what this looks like for your situation. What I'm seeing is not just a label, not a conversation that ends with both people agreeing to call what exists between them by a new name and then continuing exactly as before. What I'm seeing is a genuine reconfiguration, a shift in how this person shows up in your life that reflects the decision they've made internally. The first thing I see changing is priority. You become, if you haven't already, the person around whom certain things in their life organize, not in a controlling or consuming sense. In the natural sense of someone who has made a real choice, having that choice reflected in how they spend their time, their attention, their investment, plans made with you in mind, future considered with you in the picture. The specific quality of someone for whom you are no longer one consideration among many, but the central one. The second thing I see changing is transparency. There is a new level of openness coming, a willingness to be seen in the full, unguarded, this is who I actually am sense that wasn't fully present before. Because making it official requires a particular kind of vulnerability that unofficial allows you to avoid. When you choose someone publicly, when you name what exists between you and stand behind that naming, you are exposed in a way that the in between never required. And this person is ready for that exposure, is choosing it, is moving toward it rather than away from it. That transparency is going to feel significant when it arrives because you are perceptive. You notice the difference between someone who is present and someone who is performing presence, between someone who is open and someone who is managing openness. What is coming is genuine, unperformed. The specific realness of someone who has decided they are done managing how much of themselves they show you and is ready to just show you. The third thing I see changing is consistency. A new standard of reliability is coming. Not perfection, no one is perfect, and what I'm describing is not a fantasy. But a reliable, repeated, shows up the same way quality that becomes the new baseline of how this person exists in relation to you. The uncertainty about where you stand with them, that particular exhaustion of not quite knowing, of reading between lines, of trying to determine from behavior what hasn't been said in words that ends, What replaces it is knowing. Clear, uncomplicated, doesn't require interpretation, knowing. And the relief of that knowing for someone who has been navigating uncertainty as long as you have is going to be one of the most significant feelings of your near future. The third thing, I'm seeing what has been happening on their end. I want to give you visibility into what has been happening in this person's interior experience because I think understanding it will change how you receive what's coming. This person has been in a process that was more serious than they showed you, more active, more honest, more genuinely difficult than the surface suggested. Because from where you've been standing, from the outside of their internal experience, what you've seen is someone who maybe moved slowly, who didn't say the things you needed to hear as quickly as you needed to hear them, who seemed at times to hold back when moving forward, would have been so much easier for you both. What I'm seeing from inside that process is something different. Someone working through something real, not making excuses for inaction, genuinely, honestly, sometimes painfully working through the things that needed to be worked through before they could arrive at this place of clarity with full integrity, old patterns being examined, old fears being named and faced rather than bypassed. The specific inner work of someone who takes commitment seriously enough to not enter it until they can enter it completely. There were moments in that process, and I want you to know this, where you were the thing they came back to. When they looked honestly at what they wanted, when they pushed past the fear and the old patterns and the protective habits and asked themselves what was actually true, you were the answer that kept arriving. Not because you were the only option, because you were the right one. And there is a difference between those things that this person was honest enough with themselves to recognize. The process is complete. What it produced is certainty. And certainty for someone who has been through what this person has been through to arrive at it is not going to dissolve under pressure, is not going to retreat when things get complicated, is not going to need constant reassurance or recertification. It is going to show up reliably as the new foundation of how this connection exists. The fourth thing I'm seeing the moment it becomes real, there is a specific moment coming. I want to describe it because I think you need to know what to look for, not so you can force it, but so you recognize it when it arrives and receive it fully rather than deflecting it out of habit. There is going to be a conversation or a gesture or a moment that is simpler than a conversation. A look, a specific word said in a specific tone, something that communicates what has been decided in a way that requires no interpretation. And in that moment, you are going to know, not wonder, not hope, know. The quality of that moment is going to be different from moments that have come before. It is going to have a settledness to it, a lack of ambiguity that is almost startling in contrast to the uncertainty you've been navigating. And your body is going to recognize it before your mind does. Something is going to release. Something that has been held tightly for a long time is going to soften. And in that softening, you are going to feel something that I want to name precisely. You are going to feel met, not impressed, not swept away, met. In the specific, quiet, this is what I've been wanting sense of someone finally arriving at the level you've been at all along. Someone coming to meet you where you are rather than asking you to keep reaching toward where they haven't been able to be yet. That feeling of being genuinely, fully, finally met is on its way to you. It is not far. It is the natural and imminent result of a process that has already completed itself in the interior experience of someone who loves you and is ready finally to make that love official in every sense of the word. The fifth thing, I'm seeing what you deserve to know about yourself. Before I close this reading, I want to say something to you directly, not about them, not about what's coming, about you. You have handled this period with more grace than you've given yourself credit for. The uncertainty, the waiting, the moments when what you felt wasn't being matched by what was being said or shown. The times when the practical, protective part of you said, this is too unclear to keep investing in, while the deeper part of you said, something real is here, stay. The management of hope, keeping it alive without letting it consume you, holding the connection without forcing it into a shape it wasn't ready for yet. That is not easy. And you did it without losing yourself in it, without becoming bitter, without closing the parts of you that needed to stay open for this moment to be able to arrive the way it's arriving, freely, genuinely, because it was always going to arrive, not because you manufactured it. That openness maintained through everything is what made you receivable, what kept the channel clear, what allowed this person's journey toward you to end where it ends, at your door, with something real in their hands, ready to make it official. You didn't just wait for this. You created the conditions for it by remaining exactly and completely yourself through a period when becoming someone smaller would have been so much easier. That matters. And when this arrives, when the official, complete, finally happening commitment lands in your actual life, I want you to let yourself know that you had something to do with it. That your steadiness, your openness, your refusal to close, despite every reason to close, is part of what brought you here. Receive this, Virgo, completely, with both hands open and the fullest version of yourself present, because this is real. It is coming, and it has your name on it in handwriting that has been certain for longer than you know. Come back and tell me in the comments when it happens. Tell me about the moment. Tell me what was said. Tell me what it felt like when the waiting ended and the real thing began. Because those words, your confirmations, are everything this work is for. Subscribe to stay in the energy, and I will see you when the next thing moves.